many like kind of media outlets or have relationships there as humanly possible. Like I've been to YouTube offices a couple times just because I know some people at YouTube, and I just want, like, I believe in that kind of thing so much. I happen to like TV a lot, and I happen to, for me, the difference between TV and fashion is that TV, you go, you do something live, it's done. Fashion, you want to plan a range, that's 6 months from now, you'll get, you know, to see the end results. So that sort of immediacy is really nice. So I think I was saying earlier to somebody, I know you were there, I don't know who the other person was, that I got asked that question by the River Island team on Friday. And I said, well, having been around for a wee bit, I know that when I do my next kind of entrepreneurial thing, I don't want to do it alone. I'd like to do it in partnership with a really formidable company. So all of my moves right now are moving towards that. And River Island said, that's very good to know.
Other questions? It's your one and only chance to speak to Noelle.
I'd be interested to know what your philosophy of fashion is. So what does fashion mean to you?
I believe very much in whatever makes you comfortable. I don't believe in buying. I buy like a couple of things a year. And everything, I was actually just in the States visiting my family, and everything in my closet, like storage, I pulled out and I was like, oh my God, that's great. That's great. Every time that I buy something, I think about, I really think about, am I gonna keep this forever? Am I gonna love this forever? Is this me? And I can still look at things I bought 10 years ago and say it is. So I think that I also always wear flats if it's during the day. So I like believe in being comfortable, and then also believe in like, figure out whatever works for you and stick with it, and don't pay attention to trends too much.
Okay.
Long time ago, there was a college newspaper called the Regent. And it had a 2-page spread of Noelle Reno's designs with Noelle Reno modelling them.
Oh wow!
I wish I'd brought it with me.
Oh my God.
How involved, have you moved right away from the product and the design and the creating? Or are you still doing that?
No. Well, I consult for some brands right now. Whilst I'm completing my master plan, I'm consulting for some brands, and then I give input on, I just help someone design their website. So, I still definitely do that. And now at the moment, doing like the TV presenting, I get to play with everybody else's clothes, and I get to pull in designers and pull from, I mean, God, we all know how much stuff is out there. So I guess I have a bit of that, but how embarrassing. Go on.
She didn't let me know, otherwise she'd be up there.
I didn't even remember that.
At the front we have a question here.
For degrees of freedom, did you come up with a business plan and a business strategy, or you just went out and just met people, made contacts, and came up with the plan?
For Zonda Rose, I did the business plan, and I tried to raise funds, and I ended up having to fund it myself. But I did 20 different business plan versions. Because I was going to big funds at the time. With Degrees of Freedom, I got a personal loan, and I had a couple of contacts, and that is how it started. It's very grassroots. There was no business plan. Which, you know what, you're always going to go over your budget. I don't know very few companies ever don't have to go back for a second round. And I definitely had to do that with Degrees of Freedom. But luckily the progress was showing at that point. So I don't know if your question is, do I believe in business plans? I think that, it's good for your own clarity, if nothing else. Do I think that deals get done on a business plan? Some. Not all.
So you're really saying it's just the discipline which is the most important part of that?
Yeah, and it's a soul-destroying process.
Yeah, sure.
God, I hate writing business plans. But people are going to invest in you. Like, I swear to God, I know it sounds cliche. People really are going to invest in you. The business plan, yes, but they're investing in you, the person, if they believe that you can execute.
Your marketing skills and communication skills, basically. That's what you do, right?
Yeah. Well, because if you're looking to raise money, it's a sale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of is. Yeah.
You've got to be convincing, otherwise,
Which I'm sure you are convincing. But yeah, I would say kind of.
There's another question in the middle.
Hello. You sort of made a point of saying that it's important that you verify that it's marketable, and you talked about also kind of having to leap in and just go into action. Obviously things don't go to plan, but how do you know that you've got a marketable idea, or how did you know at that point with your first one?
It's like, I don't know. That's really, really tough. That's really tough. And I don't think that there is a certain answer on that. And intuition's like a really funny thing. Because sometimes you think you're reading it, sometimes you're not sure if you are. I would say I like to ask lots of questions. I think I said this earlier. And I've learned in my life to put my fear or my ego or whatever aside and to ask people that I trust. I know that not everyone has access to like the editor of whatever or the buyer of whatever that happens to be your girlfriend. But I do believe in like asking people, and I don't even just always ask people within fashion. Like when I launched the Zandra Rhodes range, I knew that it was not enough to launch a diffusion range with her, which hadn't been done. I needed to have a serious marketing gimmick. So I went and found a machine company that happens to, they're about to install an incredible machine at the Nespresso store on Regent Street. They're like the Rolls Royce, like 2050 version of vending machines. And they created a machine for me in partnership. I said, listen, I know that you probably want to get into retail. You're just in like luxury, like gas stations now. I can get you into Harvey Nichols if you design a machine that will sell clothes. So fast forward 6 months and a heck of a lot of like headaches. And I had that machine in Harvey Nichols selling my clothes, which got a huge press splash. So I'm saying like you can have the idea and that's great and you can know that it's what the market wants, but I still, again, like marketing I think is so important because there's so much out there, like you're saying the blogs, there's so much now out there in the ether that you have the idea but figure out how you're seriously going to penetrate through all of that stuff and reach someone.
Yeah, well, one thing I would add to that is over the years I've known lots of different people, and one of them who became hugely successful always was out adding things to her CV when she was a student, or getting out and getting into conferences that she shouldn't have been able to get into. She had a particular knack of doing it, and all the time she was building up her network of people. And you just never know when that contact is going to come in handy. And just what you said, not everyone maybe has, you know, your girlfriend is editor of Vogue UK, Schulman, for example, don't have that access. But if you build up your own networks, you know, was it 6 degrees of separation or something like that? That's the way to go about it, and that's where the passion comes in, because you can't just be passionate about numbers or just about textiles or something. You've got to have this drive to understand the whole picture. There's a question.
Yeah, actually, I have one really quick point on that. how I met some of the buyers was that I would get into a fashion show during Fashion Week from somebody that I knew, and I cringed at this. I couldn't do it now. But then I was so, like, just had my heart set on achieving certain things. I'd actually go up to them in the front row, like to Alexander Shulman, or to Susie Minkus, and be like, hi, I'm Blob, and I'm doing Blob. I mean, it's like the worst form to go and do that, but I would actually go and do that.
I mean, it takes that, particularly in this industry. I think as an entrepreneur, that sort of shines through from you, but you just need to get a bit of that. Have we got one more question in the back there?
Hi, I just had one question about, you've been in so many different sections and in so many different sector of different markets and different medias, so TV and designing. Which part did you find most lucrative?
Definitely starting my first label and the sale of that. And that was post 2008. It's a different market now.
Yeah. Cool, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sort of 50 minutes has flown by, really. I do have a last burning question from anyone. No, I mean, I'm tempted to say what's next, but I know you're on some
I think I
embargo.
actually kind of answered that a bit. Oh, yes, no, I'm under embargo on something I can't talk about. Yeah, forgot about that.
Okay, so I won't mention that, but that's media related, isn't it? Do you see yourself going back to designing at all in the future?
Well, very much so. I think I kind of made that clear. It'll be in partnership with somebody big.
Good. Okay, well, on that, I want to bring it to a close, and I want to thank Noelle a huge amount. It's been really interesting and many, many insights. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I'd just like to say thank you very much on behalf of Regent.